Yeah, good morning. We will discuss about memory segmentation in 8086. So we know that in 8086 there are 4 segments. Do you remember the segments? Which 4 segments are there? Can you name? One is the code segment, one is the data segment, one is the stack segment, and one more is the extra segment. So what is this segmentation? So segmentation is nothing but dividing the memory into some blocks. Memory segmentation, it is nothing but the total memory size in 8086. It is divided into some blocks or segments. Each segment is nothing but a different area in the memory. The process of dividing that memory into different blocks is called as memory segmentation. Now, how do we segment? How do we address the different segments in 8086? We'll see that. In memory, memory can be something like this. Memory can be something like this. It is nothing but in computer terminology. In computer terminology, any data is represented in terms of a number of bits. For example, if you want to store some character in a memory, then each character, alphabets, numerics, special characters, anything for that matter, they have to be stored as n number of bits. Do you remember by how many bits are used to represent an ASCII character? Anybody? We use 7 bits to represent an ASCII character. Okay. Now, like that, if you want to store a speech data, you may store that speech data in terms of 8 bits or 16 bits or 24 bits or anything like that. So that n number of bit is the data word length. Okay. Now, in memory, in the memory, each bit, each location can store 1 bit. That is, it can be storing either a 0 or a 1 in one place. Okay. So, if you want to store 8 bits, then you require 8 locations. Right? 8 bits we require. Now, for example, let us say now I am speaking into the computer. There is a audio codec in this particular computer that will sample my analog speech data and store the samples. The samples are now represented using n bits. That n depends on the A to D converter that is present in this particular processor. For example, if that A to D converter is representing each sample in 8 bits, then each sample of my speech data is represented using 8 bits, and that 8 bits will go and sit in one particular location. For example, you can see the slide now. Now here, ARM Cortex-A processor. Now, it is a byte addressable memory. For example, in each address location, we can store 8 bits of data. Here, 8 bits of data is represented by 2 digits here in hexadecimal. So each digit requires 4 bits in binary. So if you increment the memory, then the pointer will point to the next 8 bit in the memory. Okay. So if at all this we are talking about a 16 bit memory, then each location, address location, can store up to 16 bits. Okay. Now, for example, 8085 is a 8-bit processor. Now, 8086 that we are studying is a 16-bit processor. So, what is that 8-bit or 16-bit means? At any given point of time, we can take so much of bit wide data for processing. So, for example, let us say we are telling move A, 25H. If you are writing move A, 25H in 8086, then the operand size is how much? What is the maximum operand size that we can operate at a given point of time? That is called as word length. And you will call the processor as an n-bit processor based on that word length. Okay. So if you can see the data bus, then mostly you'll understand how many bit processor is that processor that you are studying. For example, in 8086, the data bus width is 16 bit. So at any given point of time, you can load 16 bits of data into the registers at one given point of time. For example, you can say move A, 16-bit following. That is move A, 1234H. Means you can store that 16-bit represented data into A. Okay, in a single clock cycle, in a single instruction, you can operate on this. This is called as n-bit operation. Now, in 8086, now the memory is divided into 4 segments. Now, how do we address the segments? For example, so in memory, the data is stored as bytes. Each byte has a different address. That is, it has a specific address. Now, Intel 8086 has an address bus which is of 20-bit width. Means what? We can address up to a maximum of 2 power 20 locations. Okay, each location is 8-bit. Okay, 2 power 20 means it amounts to 1 megabyte of memory. Okay, so 8086 can have 1 megabyte of memory. It can address any point in 1 megabyte memory locations. Each location can store 1 byte of data. So 8086 can access memory with address ranging from, so address bus is having 20 address lines. Therefore, 20 can be represented using 5 digits in hexadecimal. So the address starts from 00000 to again FFFFFH. So this is a maximum address location that can be pointed to in 8086. Now, as we discussed, so memory has 4 different types of segments. 4 different types of segments is something like the code segment where you are storing the program related instructions, the data segment where you are storing the data that is used for the processing in the code, the stack segment for pushing and popping whenever there is an interrupt, okay, and extra segment, This is again one segment where you are using this for storing some string type of data. Okay. Now, but to address any particular location, we have just 4 registers. Okay. The 4 registers are the code segment register, data segment register, stack segment register, and the extra segment register. We have only 4 registers. So these 4 registers are 16-bit in size. The registers are 16-bit in size. You can hold only an address of maximum of 16-bit. So if you can hold only 16-bit, then you can address only up to 2 power 16-bit only. 2 power 16. So you can address only up to 2 power 16. 2 power 16 means, can you calculate how much is 2 power 16? So it comes to around 64 kilobytes. So each register stores the base address, that is the starting address of the corresponding segment. Now, because the segment registers cannot store 20 bits, they only store the upper 16 bits. Okay. Right. Now you see here, now we have 4 segment registers, that is a code segment, data segment register, stack segment register, and extra segment register. The register length is only 16 bits. The 16 bits is now pointing to the starting address of that corresponding segment. For example, if we have something like 1, 2, 3, 4 H in this code segment register, then that is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4 corresponds to the starting address of the code segment register. But the physical address is of 20 bit. That is, the number of address locations, memory locations that we can point to is 2 power 20, that is 1 megabyte. But the address that we are representing for any particular segment is only represented by 16 bit. That is 2 power 16. It can only address up to 2 power 16. Now, how can we convert this 16-bit address representation into 20-bit address representation in the physical address? Okay, so that is nothing but you convert that 16-bit into 20-bit just by left shifting the 16-bit by 4-bit and appending a 0 at the LSB 4 bits. You make this 16-bit into 20-bit representation by representing a LSB with a 0. So we'll see with an example. Right. Now let us say the data segment register contains 2222. Okay, it contains 2222. What does this mean? Just a minute. So the data segment register is consisting of 22 and 22 means yeah. So data segment register is having 2222. So it is consisting of 4 digits in hexadecimal or 16 bits in binary. So the 16-bit address corresponds to the starting location starting address of the data segment. But the address, physical address is represented by 20-bit. How can we convert this 16-bit address that is stored in data segment register into 20-bit? So what we are going to do is append a 0 in the LSB. Okay, so what we do is to convert the 16-bit address into 20-bit, the bus interface unit appends a 0 to the LSB of the address. Therefore, now our physical address will become, now this 2222 will be appended with 0 and that will become 2220H. So this is the internal functioning of the microprocessor that is taken care by the bus interface unit. Okay, so but the maximum size of data or address that we can store in the 8086 processor is only 16-bit. Now we'll take one example. Now if the data at any particular location has a logical address specified like this, so you might have been familiar when you are working with the EMU 8086 by seeing something like this. If it represents something like this, then it corresponds to the base address is 2222, and from there now you are pointing to a offset location that is 16H. Okay, so the number 0016H is nothing but the offset. Okay, so and 2222 is a base value, or this is the value that is stored in the data segment register. So we will take one example on how to calculate the effective address, okay, of the memory and how this bus interface unit uses. The effective address is nothing but starting address of the segment plus offset. So starting address of the segment is now a processed version of the contents of the data segment or the segment registers. Okay, so to find the starting address of the segment, bus interface unit first appends the contents of the segment register with a 0 at the LSB. Okay, then it adds the offset value to it. Then we get the overall 20-bit address, that is a physical address or the effective address. Okay, now you see here in the previous example, that is in this example, the effective address is calculated like this, that 2222 is appended by 0 and then you are adding the offset, that is 0016, and now we get a 20-bit address. This is the actual address of the physical memory locations. Yes. So 2222 is the address corresponding to the base, and 16 corresponds to how much offset is it from the base address. So how much is the maximum offset that is available or possible in 8086 is, it is 16-bit. So we can have a maximum of 16-bit offset, that is 16-bit means 2 power 16 is from the base location you can go up to 2 power 16 locations. That is 2 power 16 is nothing but 64 kilobytes. Okay, so if you are specifying any particular base address, from that base address you can point to maximum of 64,000 bytes, 64 kilobytes, right? If the offset is not specified, then the base address is corresponds to the starting point of the segment, and offset of the last location in that particular segment corresponds to maximum that is representable in 16 bits, that is FF. Okay, now you have to remember this particular combination. Now which segment has which registers are used to represent the offset for different segments. For example, the code segment, the offset is represented or stored in instruction pointer. For the data segment, the offset is stored in BX register, destination index and source index registers. For the stack segment, we have stack pointer and base pointer to hold the offset. And for the extra segment, we can use BX register, data segment, destination index and source index registers. Now we will see with one example. Let us say, normally in the exam, you will have questions like this. It's a numerical. You are given some data. Now you will have to either compute the register data is given. You have to compute the effective address, effective physical address, okay, corresponding to the data given. Or the physical address is given. Then you have to compute the register contents. Okay. Now we will see one. The question is like this. The contents of the following registers are given like this. The code segment register is 1111, data segment register is 3333, stack segment is 2526H. So these are corresponding to the segment registers. Now the instruction pointer is holding 1232H, stack pointer is holding 1100H, and destination index register is holding 0020H. Now, what is that we have to do? Calculate the corresponding physical address for the address bytes in code segment, data segment, and stack segment. Okay, so we'll do this. I'll note down this data here. Now, instruction pointer holds 1232 and stack pointer is holding 1100H and destination index register is holding 0020H. Now, we have to calculate the physical address corresponding to code segment. Now, what is code segment? Having 1111. So, what will the bus interface unit do? It will convert 1111 into a 20-bit representation by appending a 0 over here. Okay, then so the code segment register, what is the corresponding offset register? We use an instruction pointer. Okay. Now, what is there in instruction pointer? Instruction pointer is having a 16-bit address 1232. Now, for this 20-bit address, what we are going to do is we are going to add this 1232, 1232, and the effective physical address is the addition of this 2, 4, 3, 2, 1 H. This is the effective physical address. Okay. Now we will calculate other effective address corresponding to the stack segment. What is the offset register corresponding to the stack segment? We have stack pointer. Stack pointer is the offset register for stack segment. Now, what is there in stack segment? So convert this into a 20-bit by 2526. Append a 4 bits over here. Okay, in hexadecimal, and you add a corresponding offset register. The offset register over here is 1100. Add that 1100 to this, and we get a effective address of 0636 and 2H. Now, similarly, can we do the repeat this for this one? Data segment. So that will be something like the data segment corresponding offset register is destination index register. Now, data segment is holding 3333, 3333. Convert this into a 20-bit address and add the destination index value, that is 0020H, and what is the result you will get? It is 0, 5, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so this is the effective address. So this is represented using 20 bits. So this is represented using 20 bits. This is also represented using 20 bits. But all the registers that are there, they are storing only 16-bit representation. This is important. So all this effort is to convert the 16-bit representation values into 20-bit representation effective address. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, now you see here for the code segment related thing, how much we got? 12342 H, and for the data segment, so we are getting something like 33350, and for the stack segment, we get 2636350, 252. Yeah, any doubts here? These are standard problems, okay? So, which you can expect. So, any question over here? So, it's any doubt? All of you can unmute. Yeah. All of you unmute. Any doubts? So if you don't have any doubt, then I'm going to stop the video. Bhumika, can I stop the video?
Yes, sir. Sir, what are the portions for term 2 test, sir?
Term test 2 I'll send in the portal. Okay. Before 12 o'clock I'll send. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.